Now, I do want to talk about the trade deadline because Rahif Issa, she had a sort of one of those mind-bending tweets, and it made me remember how I felt the day that Foligno was traded to Toronto. I thought at the time, and tweeted at the time, that seems kind of steep. And we talked about it on the show. I felt like this is a lot for a guy that, I don't know. Here's the other thing that's come out. We know now that Foligno was injured before the Leafs got him.
Son of a fuck. Oh, my God.
So Taylor Hall, who scored 3 goals in the series for Boston, not saying he would have scored for Toronto.
Would Taylor have done that?
Was a second round pick. Now, at the time, you're like, well, the Leafs are scoring goals in bunches. Who cares? Foligno, who did not score and could not play because the injury got worse, was injured before we gave up a first, 2 fourths, and a 6th rounder for him.
What was the injury and who said it?
It's a knee injury, and I don't believe I don't remember the exact, but he was injured before he got to Toronto. And here's the other problem, and I think this goes to the overall team problem. You're going to hear a lot of people say, oh, the Leafs' problem is depth. I think what they mean is secondary scoring. And what I mean by secondary scoring is you got Marner and you got Matthews and you've got Joe Blow. Doesn't really matter who's going to play on their wing next year. Probably not going to be Zach Hyman. We'll talk about that with Chris Johnston when he's on the show next episode, but I don't think Hyman's going to be back. Neither does he. Your secondary scoring, once Tavares goes down, is led by William Nylander, right? And William Nylander is your secondary scoring. Whomst among us expects a goal from literally anybody else? If we got a goal from Spezza this series, we're happy. Thornton got one. Engvall is not going to score goals for you. Mikheyev is not going to score goals for you. Kerfoot's going to score some, but it's pretty rare.
He was good, too.
I think there's a huge drop-off in Leafs secondary scoring. And if you look at the Colorado model, which is the model you should be following, especially for a team constructed by the Leafs, what we did was we got a little gritty and hardy, and then we doubled down on it again at the trade deadline. And what you should have done is go, who's the best player available? How do we get him? The Bruins do it every trade deadline, and look at them. Look at them. They get the best player available every fucking deadline, every single time. Now, sometimes it works out. Obviously, Rick Nash I think there was a concussion there. And I believe before that there was Hartman. But then you get like Taylor Hall, who's spectacular. And I think you got to look at this situation and go, okay, we have unbalanced scoring here. Pierre Engvall cannot score. He can barely score in the regular season. He's not going to score in the playoffs. Maybe one.
He's gone.
Well, of course he's gone. But look at the rest of the lineup. Who in there is like, okay, Mikheyev has missed, I think, when did he get a goal all year? He missed every single opportunity to score he ever had this year.
I think he had 7, but like he really, I swear to God, if he could shoot, he's a 20-goal guy. Like the amount of chances he gets, he generates chances. He does
shoot. He's a 50-goal guy.
I know. He can shoot though.
Mikheyev's stat line in the playoffs, by the way, was the old Sam Mitchell thing. It was 0. No goals, no assists, no points. Like
so
the biggest criticism of him isn't that he didn't score; it's that he was not a factor.
Right. Well, and he is not a factor. He wasn't a factor all year. He had a couple of good games, game 3 and 4. He really was great. I even tweeted about him, like, damn, this is the Pierre Engvall I want, because at least he's a factor. He's effective. What do you expect from Gauch going into this series? Maybe a goal. Wayne Simmons, probably not. Pierre Engvall, definitely not. Mikheyev, definitely not. Thornton, maybe a goal on the power play. Well, that didn't really happen. Foligno.
It did.
Oh, sorry. It did happen on the power play. Sorry. One time. Foligno, and then Spezza with 3. Like, look at the names I am naming here, guys. None of these guys are guys who can score. You have maybe Hyman, definitely Matthews, definitely Marner, definitely Nylander, and Tavares if he's in. You're expecting all those guys to score. That is it. They don't have any secondary scoring beyond William Nylander, who, by the way, is secondary.
So let's transition then, because I know why I'm so depressed right now. So because I was sort of depressed doing I just did a podcast before this with Berkshire and Mary there, and I saw the tweet from CJ. Well, it was from the Sportsnet fan account. We're gonna have CJ come on Friday, but the tweet in question is about something he said regarding Zach Hyman and God damn you, please load so I can read the thing, you son of a gun. Okay, here it is. I'm going to read it to you in its entirety, and I just need you to listen and bask in this dog shit.
Ready.
This is from CJ. If the end result is him having already played his last game as a member of the Leafs, it's unfortunate. It's the business side of the game, and frankly, it's the most likely outcome given where he's at in his career, the way other teams view him, and what the Leafs can afford to pay him. That is unless the Leafs make a big change that I'm not expecting.
Yeah, because someone's going to offer Zach Hyman $5 million to $6 million, and it's going to be stupid, and he's going to take it.
The Leafs losing Zach Hyman for nothing, beyond it being a catastrophic level of unacceptable, would affect me like no Leaf leaving since James Reimer.
It's an own rental, Steve.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I will no. You can't lose this player. You can't lose this player, and you can't lose them for nothing. This goes back to you need to reevaluate if you can have three $11 million guys when the cap is not going up. There was a scenario where, you know what, they can spend to the cap every year. Money, LOL. We don't give a shit about that. You guys, we can't pay them $11 million a year. Here, how about we give them $15 million a year? Here you go. Here's your signing bonus, and we'll give you $16 million. And we don't give a fuck. We're MLSE. We'll give them whatever we want. And then the panini hits, and the cap does not go up, and all of a sudden you can't afford Zach Hyman at half the cost. A heart and soul guy who possesses everything this team lacks. And they're going to lose another one.
Well,
Nazem Kadri has something that we don't have in abundance, and we're going to lose another one.
Well,
that's what this team needs to get going forward. Softer with less scoring depth, and a penalty killer, power play guy. He does everything. Zach, you're going to do face-offs on the penalty kill forever and ever, amen, and we're not going to give you any fucking help. That's kind of weird, Mike. I'm a winger, but I'll try. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Get out there. And then he did it for half a decade. The Leafs losing Zach Hyman, it depresses me.
What do you do if somebody offers him 5.5?
Stop LFR because fuck these guys. Like that's,
I mean, as the Leafs, like, what do you can't do anything about that situation if he's like, hey, these guys are offering me a ridiculous amount of money. You know,
that's why you're proactive and you get on the phone and you go, here are all my expensive dudes. And I'll tell you what, this conversation extends to Morgan Riley because he's got a year left. And here, let me throw something. Let me throw something at you. Okay, so unlike last time. The Vegas conversation, it was very obvious they were going to do 7-3. I'm not convinced that's what the Leafs are going to do this time.
No, right now it's no, it should be 7-3 and then curf it. You let him go.
Yeah, they're going to lose him. I think they're going to lose him to the.
You mean 4-4?
Kraken.
No, it's 7-3, and then you keep your defenseman.
You can do 4-4 if you want.
You can, yeah.
No, because if you do 7-3, then Jesse, Muzzin signed a term. Riley has a year left. Brody signed a term. Hall signed a term. So are you exposing Riley? Or who are you exposing? Because you got to expose one of the four guys I just mentioned.
No, you want to do 7-3. You want to protect all your defensemen, is what I'm saying.
I don't think you're understanding this. No, it's 7 forwards, 3 defensemen.
Oh, I have it backwards then.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, then yeah. 4-4. Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. So it's 7 forwards,
I thought you were saying
3
7
defensemen. No, my bad.
I just want to say that was award-winning between both of you.
That was terrible.
Work. Well done.
No, protect as many defensemen as possible because you're okay to lose some forwards.
So this is the thing: Matthews, Tavares, Marner. I mean, you're holding all of them, obviously.
Nylander.
And Nylander. So there's 4, and then Kerfoot. You probably lose him. And Seattle goes, absolutely, we'd like to get him. And he's got 2 years left. The Leafs have already paid $8 of the $14 million involved there. If I were the Leafs, I'd actually explore trading him because I think that's a player with value.
Yeah, get something now.
Yeah. Or here's the other option. You can do 7-3 if you trade Morgan Riley, who only has a year left.
And who, by the way, was wearing a YVR shirt in his press conference today. And people were like, oh, Morgan Riley doesn't want to be in Toronto anymore. I think he's just wearing a shirt.
It's where he's from.
That's where he's from.
I know, but I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I'm responding to the internet idiot.
Okay.
Everyone's got
guys.
What the hell?
God, Adam, you're such an internet idiot.
Yeah. Trade Riley. And then here's the fun part. You trade Riley, you do 7-3, and then you still probably lose Dermott. But like, that's not going to make your team sink or swim. I don't think. Freddie comes off the books, but you see what I'm saying here. A goaltender is not getting claimed, certainly, because they're going to protect Campbell, and who are you going to lose? Hutch?
Imagine.
Can you imagine if it what do we do? We just go, thanks? I think because you have to expose one. That's part of the reason Hutch got this 2-year deal. They're like, hey, you're a good person. Oh, and you think I can stop pucks? Listen,
You're a good person.
You're a great guy. And we gotta and I think he was supposed to be a mentor in the AHL. And then there was no ECHL. And I think the Leafs goalie depth right now is set up so perfectly, like to have 2, 2, and 2 in the NHL, the AHL, and the ECHL. Because they actually got a nice little pipeline of goalies coming up, but they're not close. And they're going to hit on at least one, I would think. But they're not close. So anyway, getting away from the goalies.
That's what we said about Pogge and Sparks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. No, what they did with Pogge is they had an abundance of young goalies and they just pointed at him and they said, you're the guy, and threw Rask in the garbage and lucked into Reimer, who they found in a dustbin somewhere. That dude was playing the ECHL the year before he started making stops in the NHL. God, I hate this team. It's so Kerfoot is probably gone. I don't know how. Riley, you need to strongly consider it. And I love Morgan Riley. Too bad.
It's not due to performance, right?
No.
Circumstance.
Circumstance.
The
I want to say that so that people have that context, Steve, because there will be people who take you literally go, Steve Dangle doesn't like Morgan Riley. It's like one of the rest of the rabble on Twitter.
I love Morgan Riley. I love Morgan Riley. And I want him to be a Leaf. And, we all said in the playoffs for the Leafs to go deep, LOL, he's got to be better. And he was. I cannot believe the performances the Leafs got out of certain guys and the fact that they lost. I really, the performance they got out of him, out of Spezza, out of Nylander, out of Campbell. Fuck. You can't lose that goddamn series. You can't. You can't lose 3 consecutive fucking games. It's unacceptable. Holy shit. And now you're looking at a situation where you need to somewhat consider trading Mitch Marner, strongly consider trading Morgan Riley, and strongly consider trading Alex Kerfoot before you lose him for nothing. Kerfoot very proved this series he's not a nothing player. A lot of people are like, oh, he's Seattle fodder, blah, blah, blah. Seattle fodder? You lose the only return you have remaining for Nazem Kadri for nothing. Yeah? Seattle fodder? I don't think so.
Can I ask you guys?
Sure.
Out of the forward group, you have Riley Nash, Zach Hyman, Wayne Simmons, Nick Foligno, Alex Galchenyuk, Jason Spezza, Joe Thornton. All of those guys are UFAs. Mm-hmm. Who are you bringing back?
Spezza, Hyman.
Yep.
That's it. Thornton is not an NHL player anymore.
Yeah, no, we're done.
It's too bad. We saw it. I love Joe. Loved having him here. Thought it was so cool that he's in a Leafs jersey.
Give him a job.
Galch? I'm interested in Galch, but I'm not interested in Galch at more than Leagueman.